good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name's Mike Amos. We're coming to you from our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. If you're watching on Facebook this morning, of course, our Channel 2 territory scans as far as Montgomery and Lake Martin north, all the way down to the Dothan area south and over toward Luverne and parts of Bullock and Butler counties. We're all over the place on Facebook, as you can see us this morning from New York. Here's a call. Let's see. This call is coming in from Birmingham, Alabama. You on the line? How you doing?
Hi, morning.
Well, what's new up there in Birmingham, sir?
Just rain, and more rain, man. It's been a miserable week.
We're not getting that kind of rain. In fact, we're getting pretty good weather. In fact,
yeah, it is supposed to be like 80 degrees and sunny today there.
That's right. Big baseball game coming in here tonight with the University of South Alabama. We've also got the Archer reunion coming through here tonight too. So
yeah, the baseball team is actually playing in Ruston, Louisiana. I guess, Louisiana Tech. They got a 3-game series.
I know they better get on the bus because they were practicing last night, and I'm sure it's a pretty good drive over to Ruston, Louisiana. Who made that town famous?
Terry Bradshaw.
Son, when am I going to get you another cup of coffee? I'm just putting all these cups of coffee back. You don't even drink coffee, do you? So can I have them?
Troy heads to the Auburn Tiger Invitational, so they'll be playing a softball tournament, the Lady Trojans up in Auburn.
Yeah, they're off to a good start, too. They've got a good team, Mike. They lost to Alabama in that tournament, but I don't think anybody's beat them much since.
Troy opens Friday at 11:30 against Eastern Illinois before going on to play North Dakota State, Villanova, and number 22 Auburn. So they've got 4 games.
And they'll all be played in Auburn, at the Auburn complex there?
That's correct.
Well, what are some of the times we're talking about?
Well, they start today at 11:30 a.m. against Eastern Illinois.
All right, 11:30 today, Eastern Illinois, over in Auburn. When do they play Auburn, does it say?
The last game, here's the schedule. They play, today they actually play a doubleheader. They play Eastern Illinois at 11:30, then they'll come back and play North Dakota State at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, they'll play Eastern Illinois again. Then they'll play Villanova at 11:30 a.m. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m., they'll play Auburn.
Yeah. Charles Henderson High School got a big tournament coming in this week. It's the in fact, I would say it's one of the largest baseball tournaments in the state every year, don't you think?
What are you talking about, the Terry Sykes tournament?
Yeah, the Terry Sykes tournament.
Yeah, it's got to be a pretty big one. I know there's always a lot of good competition coming down.
Now, Mike, I'm going to, I don't know if this is going to surprise you.
You know, Mountain usually used to come down with Coach Irons. I wonder if they're down this year.
No, I didn't see that, but we'll give everybody a list of the teams that are coming in here. I know Prattville's coming in. I know Opelika and quite a few more. Michael, I've been stunned a little bit this morning. Cole McWhorter. Do you know who Cole McWhorter is?
Yeah, that's Rod's son.
He now plays at Charles Henderson High School.
Yeah, I knew that.
Did you know that? Well, I wish I'd known that. He has transferred from Pike Liberal Arts to Charles Henderson High School, and of course he played on the state championship team and was one of the main cogs on that Pike Liberal Arts team that won the state championship last year. And of course, he is the son of Rod McWhorter, who played at Charles Henderson, and then
this guy was a great player at Troy and good player at Troy University, and then finished his career at Columbus State.
That's right, Columbus State, and his daddy was a legend. His granddaddy was a legend, Rat McWhorter, who I grew up with. He umpired all our games for years and coached, and was a huge Troy supporter for a long time. And but it does surprise me.
Rod coached at Troy for a long time under John Mayotte.
It does surprise me that Cole is back at Charles Henderson. He's just a junior. All he did was go 2 for 3 and knocked in 3 runs for the Trojans, including a home run over the left center field fence. So a good addition if you're a Charles Henderson fan to their program, Rod McWhirter. Of course, don't feel bad about Pike Liberal Arts. They're loaded to the hilt with players, and we'll be talking more about them later on. Pike County High School beat Zion Chapel 9-7, and the Patriots win a doubleheader over Ezekiel. I didn't know Ezekiel had a baseball team, Mike.
Where is Ezekiel out of?
Well, I've got the same idea that you've got. Patriots won the doubleheader 12-2 and 10-0. So both games ended.
Yeah, we were talking about that during the football season. There's some private schools I've never heard of that play live players. I guess some new schools we don't even know about.
And if people realize what they had to pay for a helmet, what is it, $300 for a helmet now?
You talking about a baseball helmet?
No, but football helmet. Tell me what
the average football helmet's around $400.
All right. The average football helmet costs over $400. All right. Charles Henderson dresses close to 90 players. That is 30. What is that? 36,000. Oh, that's not right, or is it?
I don't know. It might be too early in the morning for me to do math.
It'd be $36,000. We'll know more than that, wouldn't it?
You got to realize, though, the average football helmet lasts 10 years. After 10 years, you have to throw it away.
Yeah. It's right at about $36,000. That's a lot of money for a football helmet.
Yeah, you got to recondition those helmets every year as well.
Yeah, no question.
Chin straps and.
But so total equipment for a football player. Total equipment for a football player is at least $600, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And
that's why you have these booster clubs.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's why you got these booster clubs. It surprises me though. When you see these players who are so good on one team be able to transfer over to the other team, and it's going to be a Cole McWhirter, who the catcher, I'm sure is excited to be back at Charles Henderson. Of course, Brock Huner is another young man whose dad and his granddad and all them played ball here at Charles Henderson. Chance Pollard, Walker Starworth, Caden Bryan, Will Reeves, a lot of pretty well-known names.
Will Reeves, the biggest baseball player in the country?
Well, I think he's lost down to about 260, Mike. He's a load now. Hey, he throws it too hard. He's a good player.
Well, I'm really good friends with his Uncle John, and John always tells me his passion and his favorite sport was always baseball. So
yeah. And
of course, you got Frank Scarver's son's on that team too.
Yeah, I know it. I mean, I just mentioned a few. You're right. I just mentioned a few. I don't have the actual list, but they look pretty strong. Of course, pitching is the key to everything, and when it comes to baseball and softball, and it's something we'll be watching. Of course, the key this weekend when Troy University plays South Alabama in a whiteout game, they want everybody to wear white, and they're going to give away towels and all that. We've got a big promotion going on at Troy.
Yeah, 1,500 towels will be given away, and then to the students.
I hope there's 1,500 people that'll be there, don't you?
You would hope so. I'll tell you what, this is a big revenge weekend for Troy. They went to South Alabama 2 or 3 weeks ago and got swept. The ladies actually lost and the men got beat. And, the South Alabama girls basketball team is actually 19-5.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a great game.
They have a really good team. That'll be a great game.
Troy is 18-6 and South Alabama 19-5. That will be a good one starting at 2 o'clock.
It's one of those situations where you would hope that a lot of people will get there early to at least watch the second half of the girls' game as well.
I'm glad that they're playing that doubleheader because it's also John Archer reunion week, and they'll be out at the Marriott starting at 5:30.
Have some of those guys already gotten in town?
Yeah, some of them have. A lot of them will be coming in here to play golf. Hopefully, it'll be cleared up by then. And then, of course, a reception is going to be out at the Marriott at 5:30. And then we're going to Sisters for a wonderful feast. So, that's where they always want to eat, is at Sisters. We've been doing this, gosh, I don't know how many, 10 to 15 years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a long time. We'll be driving through Troy tonight and be
I know
in Troy for the night.
Exactly, and going to see my granddaughters.
Of course, you got to try to get through Birmingham traffic first, and that's always a nightmare.
Tell me about that traffic. I was there the other day and went the back roads and didn't run into any traffic.
Well, I mean, it's just, rush hour on Friday, just 65s bumper to bumper for miles. It takes 30 minutes to get out of Birmingham at least.
Yeah,
and now it's so backed up on 459 because all the big trucks are on 459 now. So basically, you can't turn to get on 65. It takes forever. So it's just a nightmare right now. I mean, I've got friends that work downtown, and they're saying they're having to leave work literally 30 minutes early just to get home on time.
Yeah. Of course, I was looking at this Charles Henderson Dothan score. Of course, Charles Henderson loses to Dothan, 12-7. Charles Henson's so good every year, you don't expect them to lose to Dothan as good as Dothan.
They weren't very good last year.
Yeah. Trojans also got hits from Chance Pollard, Brock Henner, Walker Stallworth, Caden Bryan, and Will Reeves. The Trojans led most of the game. McWhorter led off the inning, the second inning, with a home run over the left center field fence. And then these guys came back, and Stallworth and Reeves followed the home run with back-to-back singles. And Stallworth came all the way around to score the second run on the wild pitch. And Reeves scored on a base hit by Henner. But it wasn't enough. They led 4-0, and Lawson Scarborough was hit by a pitch and was able to score. And as I mentioned, 4-0. Then Dothan scored a couple of runs to make it 4-2. Charles Henson came back and led 6-4, but it just wasn't enough. Even after McWhorter picked up his second RBI on a double scoring Scarborough, the Tigers from Dothan went on to win the game 12-7 over the Trojans. I wanted to mention also, of course, the Patriots of Pike Liberal Arts are off to a good start. They're, as I mentioned, they beat Ezekiel in a doubleheader, and Tristan Carter and Levi Sykes were instrumental in that win, along with Chandler Golden, and also Keenan, Tristan Carter was in close. Clay Barron also had a couple of hits and pitched the first inning of the game. J.D. Wilson pitched the remainder with remaining two innings, as the Patriots sent 13 batters to the plate in the first inning, and it was over before it was over. Of course, the Patriots now will be back in action at home on Tuesday against rival Lee Scott Academy out of Auburn, Alabama. Of course, I
know that J.D. Wilson name. That's Daniel Wilson.
Daniel Wilson. Boy, what an athlete he was growing up in Troy, and now his son is one of the up-and-coming players at Pike Liberal Arts.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Of course, you had the Jenrite twins, I guess, a few years ago. You had all these kids.
Yeah, we do.
Now at Pike Liberal Arts, whose dads all played at Charles Henderson. It's pretty funny.
Well, the Jenrites are now playing at the junior college in
they in Wadley?
Wadley, and I'm sure they're doing well. And, of course, also the Renfro boy is
at Southern Union.
At Southern Union. Also, you look at these, look at McWhorter, his dad was a big-time player and coach. He coached Dad coached at Troy for about 7-8 years.
Yeah, when Mayotte was there.
Yeah, and but
tell you what, I I'd like to go back and think about that Mayotte hire. I mean, he was successful at Eckerd, I guess, is where he came from. But that was an interesting hire to place Chase Riddle.
One guy liked it. One guy that was important to the program liked him, and that's how they got him. And he won, but he just didn't win big.
He was a good guy. I mean,
and the thing about it, he won, but he just didn't win big. Back then you had to win national championships to be recognized.
Yeah, I mean, he took a Troy team to the regionals.
Yeah, I know it, and he won. He had a winning record. Max Copeland and Christian and Steed had the other 3 hits as Patriots. Pike Level Arts win there. I think they're undefeated right now, going into their 3rd or 4th game. So baseball, high school baseball, is here to stay, Mike, and hopefully this Pike Level Arts team, which I think will be very good under Coach Alan Ponder. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't win it all. Would it you?
Well, I mean, that's the expectations when you're coming off a state championship team, and there's a lot of talent. I wouldn't be surprised at all as well. Of course, like you always say in baseball, it comes down to pitching.
You're exactly right. Especially, how about softball? Does it come down to pitching in softball?
Oh, yeah, I mean, really, in softball, it's almost unfair. Some team has an ace.
That's
right. I think they're limited to certain innings. Yeah. I was going to mention the World Golf Championship in Mexico started, and Roy McIlroy shot 8 under yesterday. So McIlroy's in the lead. Dustin Johnson's at second at 7 under. Justin Thomas from Alabama, who choked last weekend, is 5 under. So he's only 3 shots back on McIlroy. But
he choked, but he still won $900,000. I don't call that choking too much.
800,000. Well, I mean, you gotta say when Justin Thomas, who's one of the best players in golf, has a 4-shot lead.
I know it.
After the first hole on 18. I mean, after the first hole in the final round, you think he's going to win.
Mike, I've had several comments from people that saw the show yesterday where we, talked about different products and different foods and all that, and which, foods. Of course, probably the main one is Coca-Cola. As much as Pepsi and all these other people want to compete, Coca-Cola still, what is it? Is unmatched. Don't you agree?
Yeah, especially in the South. Coca-Cola was founded in Atlanta.
I want to mention that Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep right here in Troy has a gigantic used car sale. Now, let me tell you, Jason, the owner of the Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks he deals now. I'm telling you, you want a deal on a car, and he's got all his used cars listed in the paper today, starting with a 2005 Nissan Titan, and he goes all the way down, and he ends up with a 2017. These are used cars now, 17 Ford Transit wagon for $24,000, but a tremendous selection of used cars on sale with a gigantic sale. So drop by that and see him today and buy a vehicle and get a Yeti. Now, Mike, do you own a Yeti?
No, I don't own a Yeti.
What makes a Yeti so much different than all the rest?
I've got a couple things similar to a Yeti that were just less expensive.
What makes what's the difference in a Yeti?
Well, Yetis, keep drinks cold all day, and sometimes overnight. I mean, it's just like
it's like my big cup.
I guess the insulation is through the roof. The technology is through the roof as far as a cooler. I mean, a lot of people.
Somebody told me that with a cup that you can drink a hot cup of coffee in the morning and drink the same hot cup of coffee in the afternoon. Is that true?
I mean, I hear stories like that. I'll be honest. I don't I don't drink coffee, so I don't know.
What happened to you, Mike? Your daddy, your uncles, and your granddaddy all drank coffee. In fact, your granddaddy probably drank a gallon a day.
Tiger Woods is also even in the tournament. Ricky Fowler's even. And then my favorite golfer who won this tournament last year, Phil Mickelson, all he did was shoot 79. He's +8.
Oh, gosh. You sure, I tell you what, How can
you go from winning a tournament last year to in the first round you shoot +8? Of course, they're playing at 7,500 feet.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, it's different, more difficult to breathe, I promise you. Those older golfers might not, he's 48 years old. It might be tough for him to go around the course.
I was going to mention also, we talked about this locally, Hunter Hamrick, who I guess grew up in Troy. I was born in Troy, then grew up in Montgomery. He's playing in the Puerto Rico Open, which is another PGA Tour event that the other players are playing in. And he shot +1 yesterday, so he's in the mix to make the cut in the Puerto Rico Open. So we'll try to follow that, and hopefully Hunter can get some money this weekend.
Yeah, man, it would tickle me, I tell you.
All about winning money when it comes down to that PGA Tour.
You're exactly right.
If you can place in that top 10, you can make a lot of money.
His daddy owns a business right here in Troy and been very successful. And, I coached his daddy. Yes, Mike Amos coached Bill Hamrick.
Yeah,
I drove the bus.
Let
me just say this. I drove the bus for Bill Hamrick. And
what did you do? Just tee up the ball for him?
Yeah, and there was, you know what? Hey, I learned from them. Hey, I walking around the course, I learned how to play golf from them,
Where was this at? Charles Henderson?
No, at Pike Liberal Arts School.
I didn't realize that Hamrick played at Pike Liberal.
Oh, yeah. All those guys did. Of course, Paul Hudson was a young player on that team. Jim Adams was a good young golfer on that team. And, Cott Wallace.
You probably had more golfers than football players.
Oh yeah, probably did. But I tell you what, they might have been young playing football, but they weren't playing golf. They could play with anybody. And I remember we took them to Phoenix City one day, and it was sort of a round robin type thing where Central High sent some guys over there too, and I think we won it by 18 or 19 strokes. Those guys were good golfers, no question about it. Still are. And, of course, one of those guys...
Hamrick played at Troy, didn't he?
Hamrick played at Troy. And then, of course, the great one was Ronnie Mobley. And, of course, he played at Pike County High School.
Of course, Hunter Hamrick played on the national championship team at Alabama.
Yes, that's right.
He played with Justin Thomas and played with...
In fact, I'm sure he and Justin Thomas are probably best friends, wouldn't you think?
I think they're good friends. He played with Bud Colley. Yeah. He played with Trey Mullinex, a kid from Gardner that plays on the PGA Tour.
It's amazing.
The kid that's such a great player that shot 56, I think in high school in Silo, Alabama, was one of their star players, is Bobby White.
Yeah.
He's never made the tour yet.
Is he already through college?
Oh, he's been through a college, but I'm saying all these other guys made the PGA Tour, but just tells you how hard it is. He was their star player at Alabama was Bobby White. And the kid, there's another kid from Mobile that's on the Web.com tour that's about to make the PGA Tour, where it's Robbie Shelton. He's a great player.
Yeah.
There's so many of those Alabama guys are on that national championship team. There's, just phenomenal players.
Mike, let me tell you a little story in the paper today. Syracuse head basketball coach, legendary coach Jim Boeheim,
Jim
Boeheim struck and killed a man along an interstate late Wednesday night as he tried to avoid hitting the man's disabled vehicle. Police said Syracuse police say 51-year-old Jorge Jimenez was an occupant in a black Dodge Charger with three others when they were apparently lost control of their vehicle after hitting a patch of ice. But don't you know, Boeheim struck Jimenez with his GMC Acadia while trying to avoid the disabled car. So,
yeah, I mean, no fault on Jim Boeheim. It was after the Syracuse basketball game. They had actually beat Louisville, who was ranked, and Boeheim was driving home, and unfortunately, after the wreck, the guy, I guess, was trying to get help and got out onto the interstate.
Yeah.
And, they tell you not to get out of your car on the interstate. They tell you to stay in your car because of traffic, and it was snowing and icy, and Boeheim, there's no fault. It was just a total accident. And, apparently he's extremely distraught and wasn't at practice yesterday. And,
Yeah, in fact, they're fixing to play Duke, aren't they?
Yeah, of course, they had already beat Duke at Duke this year, too, so Syracuse got a good team. But Boeheim, I mean, I can only imagine, what you're going through in that situation.
He's a veteran coach.
Hit somebody and then, to die is brutal. So hopefully he'll be back sometime this season. Good coach.
Now, of course, there's some golfers out there. Maybe Will will call in and tell you about how this elevation will affect a golfer. Now, they have to play sometimes in Denver. That's a high elevation. But this Mexico City elevation is really hard.
Yeah,
I wonder if the ball actually...
Mickelson won on the same course last year. I mean, he wins the tournament and then he shoots 79. I mean, how does that happen? He's got to know how to play on it.
Yeah. McIlroy has been sort of a choker recently. He's...
McIlroy's really a
he
guy.
just had one or two good rounds in every tournament.
He used to be the best player in golf, but he is very inconsistent.
Yeah. The Puerto Rican Open, as you mentioned, Mike, is still going on, and like you said, we're taking a look at watching for Hunter Hamrick, to see how he does in that tournament. Of course, we've got baseball going on. Troy University is at Louisiana Tech this weekend for a 3-game series. And then they come back and on Wednesday might play the Jacksonville State Gamecocks.
Well, that'll be exciting for a lot of old Troy fans.
What do you think now? Of course, Troy is 1A in football, and of course, Jacksonville State and North Alabama, two of Troy's old rivals, are 1AA. They're division below Troy in football. What is your feeling about if one day Jacksonville State or North Alabama requested or tried to get into the Sun Belt Conference? Would you be for it, or would you want to see them just stay back where they are?
Well, I mean, I think something like that could happen. It's a situation where I think we mentioned before that South Alabama will probably, if they expand conferences again, I think South Alabama will probably go to Conference USA, and I think Troy is going to be kind of stuck where they are just due to the market. But I would be more of a fan if UT Chattanooga can make the jump.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if Tennessee will allow it. I mean Chattanooga is a Division I town. If you've ever been to one, it's one of my favorite places.
Well, I'm saying it'd be a good place to visit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville State. I mean, they've had a lot of great success. Of course, they've been to the championship game. They've never won it 1AA, but I don't know. That'd be interesting.
They're the team you love to hate. Now, I mean, a real Troy guy doesn't like Jacksonville. I'm telling you.
I think North Alabama's years away from making that move. I mean, shoot, they're still transitioning to 1AA.
But their programs are not bad though. Neither one of them. Both of them are pretty good programs.
No, I mean, the basketball team has done really well under the guy that used to be at Western Kentucky.
That's right.
The Ray Harper guy. He's a really good coach. Good friends with Coach Cunningham.
He is real, and of course he coaches at Jacksonville State, doesn't he?
Yeah, their basketball team is really good. But I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I mean, you hear more names like James Madison. I tell you, a school to look forward that I think will make the jump one day is Kennesaw State. It has exploded.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The enrollment and their sports have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see.
Of course, they're located right there in a pretty fast-growing area of Atlanta, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and that would be a big rivalry game with Georgia State as well. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, the Birmingham Iron will travel to play the Atlanta Legends this weekend in the AFL.
And they play in the same stadium where the Braves played. Is that right?
Yeah, they'll play where Georgia State now plays. It's a situation here in Birmingham. You're starting to hear more and more people talk about it because they're 2-0. So kind of just tells you what a football crazy state we are and crazy town of Birmingham. They're starting to rally around this kind of semi-pro football team we got.
Yeah, that's right. Now our guy with Memphis, how is he doing?
He has not played. He got beat out by Christian Hackenberg, the former Penn State quarterback, who was a second-round pick in the NFL, and he has not played.
Where did Hackenberg? You said he played where now?
Penn State.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then the other backup's the guy that played at Georgia, and then he transferred to LSU and had a pretty good career, Zach Mecklenburg.
Yeah, all right, that's what both of them, Hackenberg and Mecklenburg are the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and Silver. So there's 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Of course, we were throwing...
Silver's is in a situation where his agent is Kenny Stabler's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she started becoming a sports agent.
Of course, they both were raised down there in Gulf Shores, isn't that right?
Yeah, she knew him growing up, yeah.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Town & Country Flooring and Town & Country Grills, oh boy, they got the best selection of grills you'll find anywhere. Mike, everybody always talks about the green egg, but this egg that they've got at Town & Country will match it any day of the week, and it costs a lot less money.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard they've got the best grills in town. I was talking to somebody about that the other day in Troy, but
you want a grill that's dependable, but at the same time, the grill is going to last. You want one that's going to be made to last, and these are made to last.
I got friends that are just huge charcoal guys, and they want to use charcoal and do it the old way. But man, I love just pushing a button or hitting a switch.
I agree with you.
Cooking. I mean, I've got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and we have to try to cook everything fast and have dinner ready fast. I grill out probably 3 days a week.
And same way for the fireplace. Hey, that's what we ought to ask the people out there. Which do you prefer, gas logs or real logs?
I'll tell you what, man, there must be people that buy logs because I live, off.
Birmingham's huge at selling wood.
I don't know how many trucks are in Mountain Brook and Vestavia selling firewood? Yeah. It is unbelievable.
And where a truckload would cost you $30, a few years back, cost you $100 now.
It doesn't matter how cold it is or if it's raining. There's still people out in their trucks trying to sell wood.
You're exactly right. You don't see that in Montgomery, but you see in Birmingham all the time, and especially in the areas of the town where you live, Vestavia and Mountain Brook.
In the suburbs of Mountain Brook and Vestavia, they're all over the place.
And there's another very nice area over there. Everybody wants to live over there.
Everybody, a lot of young people live in Homewood.
Yeah, Homewood, and everybody's real tight. All the houses are close.
It's real tight, small lots, small houses.
But it's got a lot of oneness over there. They really have a good time.
It's got a lot of character to it.
Yeah, and of course, talking about Homewood, Birmingham is a real nice place to live. As long as you don't have to stay downtown or go.
Yeah, you just got to know the traffic and you got to know the shortcuts. I guess I moved to Birmingham. When I was 23, I moved to Birmingham, and I guess I've lived on and off in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa a few years here and there, but Birmingham's been home for me for at least 15 years.
But like you said, an old Birmingham guy knows the shortcuts and can get away from this terrible traffic.
Birmingham is actually it's actually for a population as far as the suburbs and everything of over 1 million people. It's not as bad as like a Nashville has gotten. Nashville's gotten horrible.
Oh yeah, they say it is really growing. Nashville is.
Atlanta is the worst place I've been in my life.
And of course, like we said,
you really couldn't pay me to be in Atlanta. I don't think I would take $1 million job and live in Atlanta.
Oh man, I don't know. That's saying a lot. Hey, I do.
I mean, God knows it is awful. It is.
Yeah, awful. It is. The traffic is awful, and all right. K.T. Cole, one of my very good friends, born and raised with him, used to live in Boston, Mike. All right.
Yeah,
have you ever heard of the traffic in Boston? He said that, and he wasn't lying. He said he had to leave to go to work every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning to keep from being in a traffic jam. 3 o'clock every morning he had to leave to get downtown. He worked for Rothschild, a big broker. One of the largest in the country, and I think his office on the 50th floor or something like that. But he said the traffic in Boston was so bad that people were shooting folks. They get so upset with the traffic they would start shooting at each other. Can you believe that?
Yeah, road rage.
And but they say the traffic I think it's gotten better now, but you know what you see in Boston more than any other city in the United States is tunnels. There's so many tunnels that you have to go under in Boston. See, Boston area's got at least 5 to 7 million people at least.
Yeah, you know, I've been to New York, but I've never been to Boston, actually. I'd like to go there.
Yeah, I want to see the Red Sox and the Yankees play one time and really enjoy that.
I think Troy plays UMass in football, not this season, but next season.
That would be a great trip.
UMass is out in the country. It's not near Boston.
That's right. Boston has more colleges than any one city in the United States. They've got just several colleges located right there in Boston.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Chestnut Hill and see Boston College.
And Harvard is located there in Boston or in that general area. And
yeah, I looked at Harvard and I looked at Yale, but just didn't work out.
Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham, and of course it is Friday, and thank goodness it's Friday, and Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, you're gonna have a busy weekend with all these Archer guys.
Mike, every time I go to Piggly Wiggly on North 39th Street, I buy steaks, and the steaks are well cut and delicious. And but Piggly, of course, you go to Piggly Wiggly in Birmingham. Piggly Wiggly is a good place to shop, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw the great Blake Crow at the Piggly Wiggly yesterday. He was buying a box of wine. He was in there.
You know, I ain't got to tell what he would buy. Well, hey, of course, Blake and Mike grew up together. Those fearless.
It's amazing how many people I run into at the Pig. Troy, Alabama. I run into Charles Cobb in there all the time too.
Yeah, and Charles Cobb works for the Drummond Corporation, doesn't he?
That's right. He's been working for
That's
a long
pretty
time.
successful company that he works for.
Of course, you know, the Piggly Wiggly up here has the trio market, so it has a big salad bar, it has a sushi bar. Everybody's crazy about sushi, so they have that, and then they have a soup station, and then they have a sandwich station, and then of course they have a meat and three. So it's pretty awesome.
But none of it can beat Sisters right here in Troy, or you know what I mean.
What will Sisters have tonight? I mean, would I like to go out to Sisters tonight? Is that the seafood buffet
All
tonight?
right, no. Let me tell you, they have catfish on their buffet. Their buffets tonight. But now we've ordered seafood just for our group. We've ordered some. You know, they're going to go down to the regular food bar, which is better than anybody's in the country. You know, the buffet.
And then they'll bring like some shrimp or some.
Yeah, we're going to add some shrimp and some crab claws, I believe is what we're going to add to it. And but it's going to be fun, and the people at the Archer group, they enjoy eating
I
that.
tell you what, man, you have no business eating shrimp and crab claws after what I saw you eat at Dusty's 2 weeks ago.
I know.
You need to stay away from that.
How do you rate? Let's get back on this a little bit. Dusty's, where do you rate Dusty's, Mike? And tell them how you order at Dusty's.
Well, I mean, I learned this from you and Mom. I mean,
Dusty's is in
Dusty's
Panama City.
is the oyster bar past the Y in Panama City Beach. It's a great place to go as far as atmosphere, but I mean, you order everything.
Well, you know, and let's say to begin with, it's a bar. It starts off with a bar, but they sure do serve a lot of food.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely.
It's an oyster bar, what I'm saying.
Wonderful food, but we ordered by the pound the shrimp and their butterfly. I mean, jumbo shrimp, and it's the best fried shrimp I've ever had. I mean, it's incredible.
It is really good. And of course, you order by the pound, and you don't get the French fries and the coleslaw and all that.
They got hand-cut onion rings.
Yeah, the onion rings are outstanding.
But I mean, you got to order by the pound when you go there. I mean, it's just so much better.
I think their shrimp is good, but I don't know if it's any better than my buddies over there in
the place heading to Dothan.
Yeah, Graceful,
yeah. You tell me about Graceful.
And you know, people can take that back. You know, they want some great seafood or some great shrimp. What I'm saying.
I pass the Graceful exit when I go to the beach. When I go through Troy, you know, it's there to the left. I don't know how far down the road it is. Though. I see the sign.
Great. You know, if you were going to go through Dothan on 231, you would catch. You would go through. You go 177 to Graceful, and of course Graceful has those two great places to eat shrimp. And now one of them, Mike, the one that I go to, also serves grouper and has a salad bar and all that. Now Uncle Ernie's, not Uncle Ernie's, but what's his name, downtown?
Well, Hunt's is good for shrimp and seafood platter.
But I was talking about Graceful, Mike. You know, they've got.
I don't know Graceful like you do. The only thing I remember about Graceful is like when I was growing up, it's like they had outlets or something there.
Had what?
Then they started some outlets.
Yeah, they had outlets there. Yeah, but you go 177 to Panama City and go right through Graceful, and those two outstanding places to eat shrimp are there.
I tell you, the best place to eat grouper to me is at the Red Bar, but of course the Red Bar is caught on fire. It's no longer there. But
the Red Bar, the secret to the Red Bar before it burned down was it was called, what do they call the fish and chips? Fish and chips. On the fish and chips plate, they put more grouper than you could eat on it. It was grouper was the fish. It didn't say grouper and chips. It said fish and chips. So a lot of people didn't realize that it.
I mean, the waiter tells you it's grouper, though.
Yeah. Are they going to build the Red Bar back?
Well, we'll be down there in Grayton at the house this weekend, so we'll be able to walk down there and see what's going on. Of course, it'll be extremely sad to not see it there. I'm sure we'll probably kind of get a little teary-eyed when we walk by there.
Well, there's some other restaurants down there. Is that right?
Yeah, Tringo's down there, and then AJ's at Grayton Beach was Pandora's, and now it's AJ's. Out of
hey, that's a good restaurant.
The same AJ's out of Destin is now AJ's Grayton, and then our favorite Italian restaurant probably ever is Barago, and it's right down the street as well. We love.
Is that a local restaurant, Barago's?
Yeah, it's local, and then the Grayton Brew Pub is down there as well for the Grayton Beer Brewery.
Yeah, of course, still quite a place to go, and for you folks that have been, or your wife's family who has been down there for years, they get to drive out on the beach, don't they?
Yeah, we got the beach truck up here getting serviced in Birmingham. So
how does that work? Now, not just anybody can get the right.
We're grandfathered in with a permit because they've been down there so long, but. Everybody else in Walton County, it's a lottery system. So if you win the lottery, you can get a beach permit and be able to go out on the beach.
Exactly right. Good talking to Mike Amos from Birmingham.
You got to have a vehicle or you're getting stuck.
And of course, that's a unique way to do it. You don't have to worry about loading up. You already got everything.
Anything ever with kids, you can literally be off the beach within a minute and back on the road, heading back to the house.
Exactly right. Some other scores in baseball yesterday. Enterprise beat Geneva 4-1. As we mentioned, Charles Simpson lost to Dothan 12-7. Arrington, the Purple Cats, led by Carson Fain with 3 hits, beat Strawn 17-4. Boy, those Purple Cats are good, I promise you. And of course, Peavy and Nash Evans were the pitchers in that game. Other games, Early County beat Slocum 2-0. Lakeside Christian out of Eufaula beat Abbeville 16-0. A good program there, and we'll be watching some of those games in the near future. And of course, as we said early in the show, Troy will have a whiteout for the first 1,500 people that come. They're going to get a white towel with engraved Troy University logo on it, and also they're going to give away to the first 500 students. They're going to give away T-shirts, and so it should be a lot of fun, and it is a big game. Now, tell us what Troy's going to have to do to make the playoffs, Mike, and be able to make the trip to New Orleans.
Well, I mean, it's the conference standings is the issue right now. They got to find a way to somehow, I think, be in the top 8 teams will automatically, I think, go to New Orleans. But it's a situation where if you're outside the top 8, you're going to have to either go on the road or host a team in Troy. And then if you win that game, you would be eligible to go to New Orleans to play in the conference tournament. The girls will have they keep on playing the way they're playing, they're not going to have any issue. They're going to be in New Orleans.
Yeah, they'll be in New Orleans, no question.
Yeah, the men still have some work to do, it looks like.
Of course, we're looking at some other...
I mean, the biggest mystery with Troy, we talk about all the time, is will Bernardo finally be back?
Well, that's a question, too, and again...
that's one thing that I will say that kept his playing time under wraps all season. You have no clue when he's going to play, when he's not going to play.
And it makes all the difference in the world.
Well, I mean, it's a huge thing out in Vegas as well. I mean, not like I'm betting on Troy basketball, but I mean, you know, they're on the lines across the country for anybody else. And I mean, Troy is a totally different team. You're talking about in conference, the guy averages 29 points a game.
Yeah, I know it.
And sometimes you don't know if he's going to play or not.
Exactly right.
4 straight games. He missed the Coastal Carolina game due to the suspension. So he's missed 5 conference games. And, of course, he missed 8 games last season. So Troy basically goes with Bernardo. If Bernardo plays, they got a chance to beat anybody.
All right, let me read this to you. The Troy men will be playing in their 5th game without leading scorer Bernardo. He won't be playing, Mike.
So that means that he must have got a concussion and decided to not play the rest of the season. That's
the senior is fighting concussion symptoms after leaving practice prior to Troy.
I've never heard of somebody fight concussion symptoms for 5 games. That's
all right,
awesome.
here it is in writing. It says the senior is fighting concussion symptoms after leaving practice prior to Troy's game against Little Rock. The Trojans are 1-3 since Bernardo went down with the injury. It's still up in the air, says Cunningham. We have to prepare to play with or without him. So right now we're prepared to play without him.
This must be one of the worst concussions ever in basketball.
I know it. Both Trojan teams have had.
I mean, I'm not saying it like trying to be negative and like saying that he's not hurt, but I mean this is unbelievable.
Yeah. It's different than last time playing South because back then we had Jordan. Cunningham said it's been a week that had allowed us to practice a little more. We probably practiced more than normal because of the sense we're creating problems. So,
I mean, only thing you can hope is that Hicks finally steps up his senior year like he was, expected to play and have a dominant performance. Hicks needs to score 25 for them to beat South Alabama.
And something I've heard.
And Hicks is a guy that can score in 20, 25 points a game. He's 6'9". He's got a great outside shot. I guarantee you, Hicks is a lot better outside shooter than anybody Alabama's got. That's a big man.
Of course, because it's the Archer reunion, we go over every time we have it over around 7 o'clock to walk around the Coliseum and or the arena and shoot, and let the old players shoot and have a good time. We're going to get out early because listen to this now. The girls from South Alabama need to have the practice facility at 7:30 in the morning. Can you believe that? They're going to be practicing at 7 o'clock in the morning or shoot around at 7 o'clock in the morning prior to their game at 2 o'clock.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
That's getting up early, though, isn't it?
You want to have, a feel for the court and a feel for the rims.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I'm just hoping Troy can get 1,500 people in there.
I do, too, and hopefully it'll be. Now, also...
I'm just hoping it's a situation where they don't have to give 2 towels per person.
Yeah. Also, ladies and gentlemen, they've invited all the former players, basketball players ever at Troy University or Troy State College or Troy State Teachers College to come back and be recognized at halftime of the men's game.
Maestri and Felix will come back.
Maestri is under the weather right now, and I don't know if Felix might come back, but I don't think Maestri is going to be able to come back. What a great coach, though, he was, Maestri, and everybody loves him around this part. And let me tell you, I love Coach Cunningham and his staff. I really do like their staff, and I hear and I hope that there's at least another year left on his contract because I really believe it's not this staff that's the problem. It's these injuries and, you play without, like you said, a guy like Bernardo, who is the difference in winning and losing. He's that good. I mean, this guy is holds the best chance ever for players that ever play in the NBA. He's that good.
Especially with his ability to shoot the 3.
Yeah, no question about it. Auburn ran roughshod over Arkansas 79-56. Mike, in that game at one time, Auburn led 22 to 1. They opened the game with a 22 to 1 run and built a 30-point advantage early in the game. That was something, wasn't it?
Well, I'm sorry, I was talking. What were you mentioning? Auburn and Troy basketball?
No, I was talking about Auburn and Arkansas last night.
Auburn beat Arkansas 2 nights ago.
Yeah, Wednesday. And Auburn hit 17 threes. If you hit 17 threes, you got a chance to win, don't you think?
Yeah, Auburn's playing really well right now. I still shocked they got beat by Ole Miss at home a week ago, but they're definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament. Arkansas and Mike Anderson, he just can't seem to turn that thing around in Arkansas. I thought he would be a tremendous coach. He had great success at UAB and had a really good couple of years at Missouri, and went back to take over Arkansas, and I thought it'd be like Nolan Richardson all over again, but it definitely hadn't been.
That's right. Marlon Davidson, the great player, probably Auburn's best player, Mike, says he's coming back for another year, and that surprises me because, hey, he had guaranteed money on the table, didn't he?
Well, they had the Derek Brown guy, the other defensive lineman that they said was a sure bet first-round pick, and he came back too, which,
I wonder why these guys are...
Somebody's got to be talking...
And somebody's got to be...
Somebody's got to be talking to family members and talk to that kid and say, if you're a first-round pick...
it's where you're going to be an empty millionaire.
Injury. That's what they're talking about with the Duke player, the Zion Williams kid. He's forced to play 1 year in college basketball, and everybody says, he's the number one pick. It's millions and millions of dollars, and then it's probably a shoe contract for more millions and millions of dollars.
I'm sure these guys can...
$200 million, and he gets hurt when his shoe blows out the other night.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy.
National media.
Did you see that? That's gonna hurt.
Nike, but a lot of people are coming out and saying Zion Williamson should be done with his college career. He should not come back and play.
Well, Marlon Davidson's the same way, but now they do allow him to buy an insurance policy. Lloyd's of London.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this Zion Williams kid is going to be. If he was seriously injured, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars down the drain.
Yeah, no question about it.
Have you ever seen this guy play? He is unbelievable. He's 6'8", 250 pounds, and it's like a point guard.
Yeah. Oh, I know he's good, no question about it. Hey, you know what? You might have saw Duke's championship opportunities go down the drain right there.
It's just a mild knee sprain, and he can easily come back and play. But a lot of people are saying, why come back and play? Just get ready for the NFL, not the NFL, but the NBA draft.
Well, you got to hand it to Auburn. They've done a good sales job to keep these right here. It said he would have gotten paid had he left Auburn. He's 6'3" and weighs 280 pounds. Talking about this young man from Greenville, Marlon Davidson. Here it is.
He only played at Greenville though 1 year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he originally grow up in Montgomery and then he ended up in Greenville or something?
Oh, maybe so. I don't know, but I know this. He's been at Auburn and been a star. How about this? He runs a 4.740.
That's crazy. And he's great at blocking.
He's that big.
Four kicks last year.
All right, last year, second-round picks. Here it is. Second-round picks last year. Contracts were between 4.5 and 7.7 million over 4 years. For third-round picks, the totals were dropped from 3.4 million to 4.3, between 3.4 and 4.3. So, you're an instant millionaire, and like you said, if he goes earlier than that, no telling what his salary is going to be. Here it is right here. A life-changing amount for almost anybody, including a kid from Greenville, but it's also not the ceiling. First-round draft picks start at $10 million with the 32nd pick and rise to more than $30 million at the top. And Davidson would have probably been a top 10, top 20 draft choice. Wouldn't you say?
I don't know. I think he'd probably go in the second round, though. Yeah. I don't think he'd go in the first. But, a situation where, somebody somebody needs to talk to these kids, and if they can make this money, you got to go ahead and make the money, in my opinion.
No
I mean,
question
as much
about
as
it.
fans want these kids to stay in school, I mean, you just can't pass up being able to take care of yourself the rest of your life.
We want to mention our good friends at Dixieland Dental today, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. David Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama, and also our good friends at Noble Manor for assisted living. Call that number, 808-8778. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to more of Today in L.A. That's Lower Alabama.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years? Not to mention burning your food. Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up. You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town and Country Flooring Center.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
All right, let's talk about the Final Four. Back to our show, brought to you by Pike Tree Service, my good buddies. And, of course, if you've got trees down, ladies and gentlemen, or limbs need to be cut, or trees that threaten your house, and that's very important. Trees that threaten your house need to be cut down.
I don't know what to do.
And, you know, I've got one near my house that it'd be over for me if it ever blew down while I was asleep.
What do they call those, widowmakers?
Yeah, yeah, if you want to call it that. Hope everybody's doing well today. Health Actions, Physical Therapy.
21 years, that'd be a rough way to go.
Health Actions, Physical Therapy on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, they're probably the best rehab people around. Also, Earl's Auto Glass located on South Brundage Street right here in Troy. And, of course, they're the best in the business. Also, Cinco Drugs located on the corner in downtown Troy, and Charles Cinco's been a pharmacist for, 50 years, I'd say. And, of course, it's had that pharmacy there for a long time. Of course, it's owned and operated by Walt and Christian.
What else was in that building growing up? That is one of the biggest buildings in downtown Troy.
Oh, yeah, that tall building. You know,
was there like people living there? Was there apartments?
No, I think it was mainly used for just business. And for a long time back in the early mid '60s, the Teenage Canteen was located on the first floor, the second floor of that building. Talking about the building where Cinco Drugs is located. I also want to mention Pike County Ford on the bypass. They're dealing, believe you me. And we appreciate Pike County Ford, and they've got a great selection of Ford cars and trucks, including that famous Ford 150 pickup truck is considered the top pickup truck in America.
You got an F-150 truck. How many miles you got on it?
240 and climbing. I know that Bubba, Mike, I have a lot of favorites.
did you buy from Ken Cox Ford when it was Ken Cox Ford?
Yeah, years ago. That's right. Let me tell you, Mike, right now McElroy leads in Mexico, and this is a $10.25 million purse, which is one of the highest purses on the tour. So you know,
it's a world golf championship.
Yeah, and
only a few players playing in it.
That's right. And at the same time, you know that that most of them are getting paid to be there. Dustin.
Well, I was telling my mother-in-law last night. She's a huge golfer, and I was like, "Can you imagine the security all these folks have to have?"
I know, that's
in
right.
Mexico?
No question about it. And of course, Dustin Johnson right now, McElroy shot 63. Dustin Johnson shot 64. And then Justin Thomas is in one stroke behind him with a 65. Kuchar, gosh, the guys that are on top were the ones expected to be on the top. Kuchar is fourth with he's 3 shots back.
Well, the tire's even, so he's not out of it yet.
Yeah. And let me tell you this. My favorite football player was Kenny Stabler. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. Kenny Stabler was my all-time favorite football player, and I liked Johnny Musso and I liked Leroy Jordan, but Kenny Stabler was my favorite college football player. I'm gonna say something here you're gonna surprise you. My favorite golfer on the tour is Bubba. I like Bubba Watson. I like his demeanor. I like everything about Bubba Watson.
It's weird you say that because he's like one of the most hated golfers.
I know it. Hey, maybe I don't know if Kenny Stabler was the most popular guy in the world. He said what he thought, but Bubba, I like that independency about Bubba. He was raised right down here in Mobile area.
Baghdad, Florida.
Baghdad, Florida. You're exactly right. And we had another guy who was a pretty good player out of Baghdad. You know who that was?
Yeah, Antoine Marsh.
Antoine Marsh, the great nose guard, who is people might not realize this, Antoine Marsh is the principal at Shades Valley High School in Birmingham. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that is a huge school, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a massive school. They have a little magnet school next to it, and then the elementary school, or the middle school was next to it as well. So that facility overall is.
Antoine was also very, very strong Christian young man. And
Antoine Marsh, if you saw him though when he was in college.
Oh, you and there thought he was a football player.
It didn't work out ways. He was just kind of a big.
And he was to be honest with you, he was sort of prissy. He didn't look like a football player.
On the football field, he was unblockable.
Yeah. Mike,
he was like a mini version of the guy that was going to be the second round pick, out of Alabama last year. He was like a Quentin Williams, somebody could block him.
Yeah.
It's so quick. His first step.
Yeah, no question. And of course, he was very active in the First Baptist Church of Troy. But
also, he scored a lot of touchdowns at when they put him in on short yardage at running back.
Oh yeah, he did. But I have to say that old Bubba is my favorite golfer. And of course, he shot 70 yesterday, and he's way behind. But you never can tell how quickly.
I saw another one of your favorites, Boo Weekley's playing in.
I like old Boo. Yeah, I like old Boo. Where's he playing?
He's playing in that Puerto Rico tournament.
Oh, is he? Okay. And I was looking at that Puerto Rico tournament here now, and I'm looking at the scores, and I'm looking for Hemrick, Mike.
He's +1.
Okay, he's +1. Okay, he's all right. He's in good shape. He's in good
shape to make the cut, hopefully.
Yeah, no question about it. We'll be watching him very closely. Of course, I want to remind you, too, again, the basketball game, how big it is.
How many people do you have coming back for the reunion?
We've got a good crowd. There'll be over 50 people. But I want to mention that at halftime, all of the former basketball players will be announced and introduced before the audience there. But also, I want to mention prior to the girls' game and the boys' game, there'll be a reception up on the main floor of the gymnasium prior to the game. So if you folks want to come by and visit with some of these former players, and of course also out at the Marriott tonight, you might want to drop by. And hey, Mike, you've never heard of Judd Dye. He was a hero basketball player from Middlesex, New Jersey. A guy.
Do Do you think any of these guys will get emotional that are back in town to go see where Sartain Hall used to be?
I know it, and of course some of them played at Sartain, and some of them played at.
Yeah, isn't it funny that Wright Hall remains, but Sartain is
right,
gone?
That's right. Wright Hall remains, and that's where we ought to go. We ought to go to Wright Hall and have a shoot in.
I was an intramural basketball star at Wright Hall for
well,
a few seasons.
Let me tell you this. Another guy that's going to be there is John Deuce, Big John Deuce.
Yeah, he's been on the show before. I was thinking he might be on today.
Well, no, he'll be in today, though, in town today. But he was from Two Egg, Florida. Have you ever heard of Two Egg, Florida? That's where he was from.
Is that North Florida Panhandle? Or
yeah,
where is
North
Florida.
It's right. It's down near, same place Bobby Pierce was from.
Chipola.
Yeah, Chipola. That's
Chipola,
where.
Mariana.
Yeah, he played junior college ball at Chipola and also in Mississippi. But he was a great player. He'll be in town. Charles Clark, Mike, who was a great player out of New Brockton, Alabama, was a fine player at Troy. William Thigpen out of Greenville was a great player. Boy, he was an unbelievable defensive player. Terry Wilkinson out of Camden, Alabama. See, they came from everywhere, Mike, to play for Troy and Coach Archer. Big George Norton out of Miami, Florida was a great player. Of course, the late, great Paul Word out of Eufaula. And we lost one a couple of weekends ago, W.T. Henry out of Perry, Georgia. No, excuse me, out of... I have the worst time with this name, Mike. The name of this town. Shoot. I cannot believe it. It's located east of Dothan.
Bainsboro?
No. It's
Bainbridge. I mean.
No, one Bainbridge, but right there at it, Bainbridge. We used to have a quarterback years ago from there. But I don't know why I have a problem with that name, but I do. And other players that's going to be here in town. That a lot of folks will remember Frank Miller. Boy, what a great player he was. And he's from over in West Georgia. And he's a banker over there. And, of course, the great Bobby Terrell from Greenville will be there. He was a great player.
I mean, Wright Hall was so small. I don't see how there was any bleachers in there.
They had bleachers on one side, and you're right. It was not a very nice gym at all. But Troy was so good in it.
I'm surprised he was able to recruit these people to go play in that little gym.
I saw Troy beat. I might have lost to Mississippi College one night, 123 to 121 in that old gym. And I saw them play Huntington one night, and they were literally hanging from the rafters and sitting in the windows to try to watch that game. It was sad, though, that so many of those great players, one of them coming back is a guy named Jerry Tillman, and Jerry Tillman was a great player out of West Georgia, and of course later was a head coach at Enterprise, but he was a great player. And of course Clayton Bryant.
Even back then when Wright Hall was there, how long is this? I mean, I know attached to it is the swimming pool, isn't it? Was it there when y'all were growing up?
What attached to?
When did they build the big pool on campus, the Olympic-sized swimming pool, the indoor pool?
They did that probably
in the
30
70s?
years ago. Yeah, they attached it to the gym, but it came after they had already moved to the Sartain Hall. But
I always wonder. I mean, do people still use that? I never hear anything about it in Troy.
They took the diving board out because afraid somebody would have gotten hurt because they had the high dive.
That is legit, 20 feet deep.
Oh yeah, well, and see that back then. See, they had the diving, the high dive, and the short dive. It was an Olympic-sized diving ramp, and they did away with that. They still have swimming there. Clayton Bryant out of Strawn, Alabama, was a great one. Another one out of Kinston, Mike. These little small towns The great Tommy Whitehurst will be there. You know, these are guys that
are you like the only person that can remember these guys probably left?
Probably. You know, Clayton Bryant was from New Brockton. That's all they did back then was play basketball. Of course, Whitehurst, a great one out of Kinston. That's all they did was play
I mean, was there ever any good Charles Henderson players that played at Troy?
Yeah, Faison was a great player. Both the Faison boys.
I know Darren and Tim both played, but I was just wondering about...
No, back in those days, no, they didn't. Not much. Now, Ronald Giddings...
Carl Hollis was from Headland, wasn't
That's right, and a great player from Headland. Boy, what a great player Charles Hollis was. If Carl Hollis, and all you ought to write the university right now a letter and recognize him as a candidate for the Hall of Fame, because he was a great one. You know, they already put Felix in there. Listen, Mike, Carl was better than Felix. As good as Felix was out of Indiana, Carl Hollis.
Coaching, Dad.
What? Oh, I know that. But he was a great player, too, now.
Oh, I know, but he was there one more year than Maestro.
But Carl Hollis came out of Headland, Alabama, and before him, his brother was a great player at Troy. So, but it's amazing how good.
I didn't know Hollis had a brother that played at Troy.
Yeah.
Was he 6'6" too?
Oh, yeah, he was really good. His name was Cleve Hollis.
Okay.
And was a great player.
I don't think I realized that.
And also, I want to remember a great one out of Coffee Springs, out of Alabama. His name is LaVoyd Green. And we got up with LaVoyd Green. It was fun to get up with him. Also, those are some of the great ones. And see, that's all he did in high school was play basketball, and would have probably been a great basketball player or football player at, say, Enterprise or somewhere like that.
So I'm guessing back then in the 60s when Archer coached, there was no shot clock?
No shot clock. No shot clock and no three-point play.
When did the shot clock come into basketball?
Oh, gosh. Back in the late 90s, probably. The late 90s.
Oh, not the late 90s. There were shot clocks when I was growing up watching games.
Okay, 80s probably. That has to be probably 80s.
I guess I can just Google it real quick.
Yeah, Google it then. That's all I hear. Google it. Also, some other guys that will be there this weekend that we look forward to seeing is the great Larry Thorpe out of Atlanta, the jumping jack. And he'll be there. He lives in Dothan now, and is quite a player. And how about this? Harold Reynolds, another one, a great player that came out of Kinston. Harold Reynolds later on coached at Crenshaw Christian, and of course was an outstanding basketball player. And the great Steve Holly, how about that, out of Sampson. All of this is coming off the top of my head, but I've worked with this group a long time. They're great people. Holly was one of the all-time greats out of Sampson, Alabama, to play for Troy and Coach Archer. Yeah.
1985, the 45 second shot.
All right, so it was in the 80s. And now, when did the three-point play come in? That's very big.
Three-point play was somewhere around the 80s, too. I'll have to look, but I'm pretty sure it was in the 80s.
How about Maravich? Maravich had averaged 40 points a game.
44.
44 points a game prior to the three-point play. Just think how many he would have scored. He would have averaged 60 points a game if the three-point play had been there, because most of his shots were long-range shots.
Oh, I know. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yeah. Of course, you know, I could go on and on with some of these great players that will be here this weekend, and looking forward to it. Ronnie Hayes, the great one out of Mobile, Viger High School, Mike. What a great player he was. Gosh, you could just go on and on and on with
three-point shot started in the NBA. Let's see, in 1979.
Yeah. That's all right. 79 was a three-point play. Boy,
Kevin Greavy made one of the first three-point shots.
Kevin Greavy played for the Kentucky Wildcats. Boy, he was one of my favorites. There was another guy, Mike, Kyle Macy. You remember him?
Yeah.
Rick Roby. You remember him, Rick Roby?
Now in college,
Dan Issel, some of the great Kentucky players of all time.
In college, it didn't start till 1986.
86, okay. 86, and that's amazing. We're talking about the three-point play. Hope that you're enjoying our show today, and of course, drop by Sisters for lunch today, a buffet lunch and buffet dinner tonight. Is at Sisters, and of course, the best food in town, no question about it. Of course, my friends did drop by Bird Drugs, and they were out of ice cream, Mike. Can you believe that? They were out of ice cream, and they didn't get to have the milkshake, but they did eat a hamburger and enjoyed it.
I'm sure Joe Watson would be disappointed to hear they run out of ice cream.
Well, I tell you, the kind of guy Joe Watson is, he is one of the finest men I know anywhere. You know, he works as hard as anybody that I know. He's a big sports fan and all that, too. But I went to a funeral this weekend, and he was in the same line I was in. I said, man, if you went to a funeral for every one of your customers, you would be going to a funeral all the time. And he just chuckled, but, you know, that's the kind of guy he is. He showed his respects to a fine lady, and, you know, I like that about him, you know, because he could have easily stayed home and said, I'm too tired to go to a funeral, you know.
Yeah, you know, Bird Drugs, you know, having that.
Thank you so much.
You know, that's a real landmark in Troy to still have a drugstore that, you know, has the shakes and the food and stuff like that. You know, a lot of towns throughout the South don't have that anymore, so it's definitely special to have. You know,
since 1914, can you believe that? 1940, excuse me.
Yeah, they have Gilchrist drugstore that's similar to Bird's, but
where's
Bird's
that located?
A lot better for its food.
Where's that located? Gilchrist.
In downtown Mount Brook
okay.
Village.
Yeah. But, of course, there's not many druggists now that have their own.
They're famous for their limeades. Do you like a limeade?
Well, you know, I always call them lemonades, but you're right. I know what a limeade is.
People come in out of the woodworks with their limeades. They do this fresh squeezed limes and the sugar, simple syrup, and all that. They're really good.
Tumors in Auburn specializes in lemonade, you know. And anybody could, you know, I'm sure at one time that Birds had lemonades, and you know, if you talk to Joe real good, he might bring one in. You know, can't tell. But what he specializes in is chocolate malts. When was the last time? Oh, back in the 40s and the 50s, they said, "Honey, let's walk downtown and have a malt. Meet me down at Bird Drugs for a malt."
Out of all the old restaurants and stores in Troy, though, I hear about, and you talk about it, and then I've heard other people talk about it, is I wish I would have lived, or at least I could still try the Green Davis Burger place. That seems like that was
all right. It was a green sandwich shop. What it was?
Or sandwich shop.
Right next to where the post office was.
Their burgers like incredible or something.
Wonderful, and they had their own Gam Green. Daddy started that, had that cafe, and he would have the skillet, and he would have little balls of meat over here, and he'd have his sauce right here, and then he'd have his buns in a bun heater where the buns, you could grab them, you could just squeeze them into a ball. They were so tender, you know. And when you walk in there to get that 20-cent hamburger, he would roll that little ball out with his spatula and mash down on it, and all this steam would come out, and he'd flip it over and mash it. Then he'd put it on that soft bun, and then he would pour this, this was the key to it all, this sauce on it, which had sort of a mustard.
Like ketchup, mustard base or something?
And also, you know, it had Worcestershire, or Lee and Perrin. All of that was mixed in with the recipe. I don't know if Perry Green's got the recipe. And it was just a fabulous hamburger. It didn't take many bites to finish it, and then you'd want another one. I could probably eat 10. Bill Rice said he used to go in there and order 10. But also they served that bright gold.
I mean, were they real tiny, like a Crystal Burger almost.
Yeah, the meat was it was more, a little bit more meat than a Crystal Burger, but not much more. And these little round balls, and they were pre-cooked. And
I had a Crystal one night when I was young in Tuscaloosa and took down about 12.
Yeah, a lot better than Crystal though. It was wonderful. And for adults, they had that those big, one of those big glasses that you freeze. It's got the big glass.
You talking about a mug?
Yeah, big mugs that were frozen, and they would pour that golden, whatever that golden stuff was they were pouring. It made it even better. People would go there and drink beer and eat hamburgers all day.
You could have a beer there? Wow.
Yeah, you could have a beer there. And and I think the drugstore, Green's Drug, started in that building, and now it's the American Legion hut now. But boy, that was a wonderful hamburger. And I was just a kid, and I went in there with my daddy, and I watched that. He liked that golden stuff, like all the rest of them did. Mike, I used to go to the pool room with my daddy, and ladies and gentlemen, Vernon Qualls ran the cleanest pool room you'd ever see in your life. The felt on the tables, the old Brunswick tables, you've heard of those, and the felt was perfect. The rails were perfect. You shoot bank pool, and they had a rack over there where you would put the balls that you made and everything. And he had a drink machine in there. It was a Grapey Co. You ever had a Grapey Co?
I've had tons of Grapey Co.
All right, well, they had Grapey Co. in the old bubble bottle, the Grapey Co. Back then, my favorite drinks were Pepsi. Pepsi was my favorite drink. You know why, don't you?
It's kind of funny. That's what I was telling somebody the other day. We were talking about Mountain Dew and Pepsi. Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow, and I was always a more Mountain Dew fan than Mellow Yellow.
Yeah, well, all right, Pepsi Cola, the reason I liked it was bigger. See, Coca-Cola back then was a small bottle, and, of course, you could turn it on the bottom and it'd say Enterprise or St. Louis, Missouri, where it was bottled. You could see on the bottom of it, of that bottle of Coke. But now Pepsi, though, was bigger, and I'd take those wonderful Tom's Toasted Peanuts, that little pouch, and I'd pour it in that Pepsi Cola, and boy, I was happy as a lark. But my favorite drinks were...
What about RCA Cola? Do people
RC was a good cola. RC Cola, try the big refreshing difference. When you drink cola, drink Royal Crown.
I feel like Mom, growing up, drank the worst drink I've ever heard of in my life and tried. Was called Tab.
Tab that was a Coca-Cola, I think, made Tab. But Grapey Co. was a big drink back then. Knee-high strawberry. I didn't like them because they gave me heartburn, knee-highs. They'd have a strawberry, they'd have a grape, they'd have an orange and a drink. And they have a B1. You ever heard of a B1? It was like a Sprite.
Forrest Gump, like Dr. Pepper. Did you drink Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I like Dr. Pepper. I would say it would be Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Grapey Co., RC. There's something about RC that a lot of people out there are going to say. You used to put a lemon in RC. I don't know why, but people would put a lemon in RC. And RC was a big drink, too, like Pepsi. And, of course, Lotta Cola. You ever heard of the Lotta Cola? The Lotta Cola.
I've never heard of that.
All of this just coming to my head because I remember all those, and I can say the same thing about candy bars. What can you do about a candy bar? Give me a candy bar, a Snicker.
It's funny. Buffalo Rock in Birmingham has come out with a spicy ginger ale. It's in a yellow box. And,
I know. I noticed that.
We have a lot of
I thought it was pretty good.
They do cocktails with the spicy ginger ale, and it's really unique. It's something just unique to Alabama and Birmingham. We have a bunch of friends that live in Mississippi, and we'll go visit every once in a while, my wife and I, and they ask us to bring at least 3 or 4 cases of that Buffalo Rock spicy ginger ale because they can't get it in Mississippi.
That is amazing what these certain things to do.
But it's like a dark ginger ale. It looks like a Coke.
Yeah.
But it's spicy ginger ale. It's really good.
Yeah. My uncle used to have trouble. I don't know why he had trouble, but he did with his drink machine at Shorty Renfro's Gulf Station, located on the corner of Highway 231. This was before the bypass. It was located on Highway 231 and 29. That's where it intersected. And of course, our steak store was located right a street. You know, that had the great steaks. Cur Market. What's the name of the Cur Market?
You talking about Meat City? Ingram's Cur Market?
Yeah. Ingram's Cur Market was right across the street. Well, it was just a little small store back then. But he had a drink machine where you would open up the drink machine, and there the drinks were, and you put your money in, a quart or whatever, and you would take the drink machine and you would pull it all the way down to the end, whatever it was, a grape or Pepsi or Coca-Cola, whatever, and you'd pull it out. Well, everything was fine until some smart kids, I wouldn't call them smart because they were stealing, used to come by there at night, and they'd open the place up, Mike, open up the drink box, and what they do, they'd have a bottle opener with them. They'd take a bottle opener, and then they have a straw. They would open the drink and drink the drink out of the straw until it was empty. My uncle would come the next morning and find that half his drinks were already drunk.
Oh my God!
Well, people that were opening up, was opening up the bottle and putting a straw in there and drinking it.
They literally break in just to drink drinks, and that was
they weren't breaking in. I mean, you pulled it up, and of course you didn't put your money in, but the drinks were there. You pull them down there, pull them down the rail, and when you put your money in, it would unlock it. You take that, and he had trouble with people doing that. I don't know who would do something like that, but it was bad. It was bad.
Of course,
and you don't know anything at all about plum trees and things like that. You wouldn't even know what a yellow plum looked like.
I think we used to have a scuffling tree in the backyard. I used to see you.
Well, I love scuffling them. Now, I love scuffling them, but I also loved delicious plums. I liked them about halfway.
I used to grab honeysuckles and eat honeysuckles.
Yeah, oh gosh. That wasn't much to it. But plum trees were, and you never see plum trees anymore. You see scuffling vines, but you very rarely ever see plum trees, those big red juicy plums or those yellow plums.
You don't really see that a lot.
My aunt, Emma Lou Renfro, had a big yellow plum tree in her backyard, and it was really good. Bringing back old memories. I hope you're enjoying it.
Mother-in-law's got a pear tree, and she has people that come all throughout the neighborhood just get pears off her tree.
Well, there's a pear tree in my backyard that we never keep.
I don't like pears.
Well, there's a pear tree in my backyard that we never keep pears on because the deer will come and actually grab them off the tree and eat them off the tree. Your deer love pears.
Out and supports the basketball program. Of course, you got the doubleheader tomorrow. We got baseball.
Yeah.
The men are in Ruston, Louisiana, playing Louisiana Tech.
Ruston,
and then you got the girls playing in a softball tournament in Auburn. So a lot going on with Troy athletics.
And like you said, one of the best.
And the Sykes tournament.
Yeah, and the Sykes tournament is a huge high school baseball tournament that you can hear. I tell you one thing about where I live, I can hear the announcer saying, "Batting now, Troy right fielder, Johnny Johnson," and I can hear that so well from my house. But of course, baseball is a huge sport right here in Troy. Also, the Troy Sportsplex is open, and probably the nicest recreation sportsplex you'll find anywhere in the country. And they're building one of the nicest ever built, ladies and gentlemen. Hear this. One of the nicest sports facilities for wellness, Mike, and that means for the conditioning young people to recreation, is being built right now on Troy's campus. It is. It's going to be famous.
The rec center.
But I will tell you something about it that will surprise you. There will not be an indoor pool. The pool will be all outdoors.
Well, they already got a indoor pool, I guess, on campus.
They do, and like the rec center has an indoor-outdoor Olympic-sized pool, indoor and outdoor. But this is going to be very unique and very nice. And of course, they're going to have the track in there. They're going to have weight equipment, and they're going to have basketball court.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Troy University's had everything they possibly could need for college kids, but they were missing that. And
they were. They sure were.
Now since they've got that, they've got everything.
They really do. And let's go over it. Wellness Center for the students. A1 plus. Basketball facility, the Trojan Arena, A1 plus. Wouldn't you say? The baseball facility, and of course to me, Riddle Pace Field.
Probably a B plus. I mean, it could be nicer.
Well, B plus, but it is awfully good, right at an A, no question about it. Riddle Pace Field.
Football stadium is the new expansion in the end zone, definitely.
Yeah, expansion in the end zone, at least an A plus, or A facility. The girls softball, an A facility, no question about it. The tennis facilities, I would give it a B plus at least. Their facilities are excellent. The golf facilities, I'd give it an A for practice only. They have a fabulous 9-hole course for the golf team. And, gosh, I've about gone over everything, haven't I?
Yeah, pretty much.
The track facility, brand new track, A1 track. The track itself is outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, at Troy University, I'm not kidding. Their facilities are as good as anybody's. Now, they're not as big as some of them because of the size of our school, but as far as a college sports facility, nobody can beat Troy. I know at the mid-level and probably anywhere else, no question about it.
Yeah,
Troy's
I would
athletics
definitely put it up there in the Sun Belt. It's extremely high.
And I would go even higher than that. I mean, do you think Stanford University has a better facility than we do?
Well, they do have a brand new basketball arena that's really nice.
I know it, but Jacksonville State, do they have anything better than we do?
I don't think Jacksonville State does.
North Alabama, do you think they can even compare with us?
I don't know, man. I haven't been to UNA in Florence in so long.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back up there and see what it looks like.
But, it's just amazing how good these facilities are, and we can be awfully proud. Hope you've enjoyed our show and you recognize our sponsors, and we appreciate them so very much. And we hope that you have a great weekend. And go Trojans! Have a great weekend.